Hello, and thank you for joining us again on the Job Done Right podcast. We stream a new episode every 2 weeks, starting in the spring and going through fall. Our goal is to provide useful advice on controlling weeds and insects and growing forage, grass, and wildlife food plots. If you find Job Done Right useful, we hope you'll subscribe, share it with your friends, and let us know your thoughts. We're making new episodes based on what you want to hear, so don't be shy in voicing your opinion. Now, I don't know about you, but when insects and spiders are inside my home, I want them out now. They're a nuisance, and they can cause painful bites and even carry disease. There are steps you can take to keep your home free of these pests, and today we're talking with Kyle Wilson, sales manager for Ragan Massey, about this important topic. Welcome back to the show, Kyle. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, great to be here, Angie. Thanks for having me.
Now, I know your job with Ragan Massey is to work with customers and you help them manage pests around their homes, their yards, their farms. But first and foremost, how do we keep these pests and bugs out of the home to start with?
Well, a good way to start, Angie, is to walk around the perimeter of your home, checking doors and windows. You can, check for like holes in your screen. Just look for any kind of entry point where insects may be getting into your home. And then you can use like weather stripping or caulk, whatever it takes. But you want to seal up those entry points and get started that way.
Even with all of that, somehow bugs still manage to find a way inside sometimes. So Ragan Massey does sell products, insecticides that are safe to use indoors and out. Can you talk a little bit about these products?
We do. We make a product called Indoor-Outdoor Insecticide, and the active ingredient in that product is 7.9% bifenthrin. Okay, and we do that in 3 labels, Farm Works, Farm General, and the Compare and Save label. I would say there's basically 3 ways to use it. You can use it inside your home. Most people will spray it around their baseboards and under cabinets, really just anywhere you may find insects hiding. You can use it outside of your house, spray it under the eaves of your house, around your doors and windows, and it'll give you a lot of control on spiders and wasps and things like that. And then you can use it as a broadcast spray across your lawn to control fleas and ticks and ants and things like that.
I know a lot of people might be concerned spraying this inside their home, especially if they have pets or children. I know I would be. Are there any precautions people should take when spraying indoors?
Yeah, well, you definitely want to read the label and get familiar with it. Just a couple of common sense things, cover up any food prep areas. You're going to make sure you're going to want to remove your pets and get everybody out of the house when you spray. Cover up an aquarium, just simple common sense things like that. And then you always want to allow the product to dry. So give it plenty of time to dry before you allow re-entry. And if you do those things, you won't have any problems.
And now, how often will the product need to be applied?
Well, bifenthrin has a residual. Okay, so it'll last for several weeks. Now, if you have a heavy infestation, you may have to reapply sooner. So you really just need to watch. And if you see some activity and after, a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, you may want to go ahead and reapply. But once you get it under control, it'll last for several weeks.
Okay, good to know. Now, you mentioned it is a product that needs to be sprayed. Do you have any tips for the type of sprayer that people should use?
Really most any type of handheld pump up sprayer. Most of those come in like 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 3 gallon sizes. Those work really well. Even the trigger sprayers, like the little quart trigger sprayers, some people will make a small amount of solution and use that. And of course, if you're spraying broadcasting your lawn, sprayers that go on the back of 4-wheelers or UTVs are really good for that situation.
I know some of the products recommend people test with water first. Is that something you would recommend people do?
Well, you can, yeah. You can just use water to start with and make a dry run and see how much you use, and then you won't make too much solution when it's time to make it.
Yeah, that's great advice. Now, when it comes to mixing the solution, do you have any tips or advice when it comes to preparing the product?
Add your water, add your chemical, make sure it's mixed thoroughly. And just read your label. Kind of be familiar with before you start with how much chemical you need. Most insects are controlled by about 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce per gallon of bifenthrin. So of indoor outdoor. So just be familiar with what you're doing before you start.
Now, we've had quite a few questions come to us from social media and customers and people that shop out and retail these products. So do you have a moment to answer some of those?
Sure.
Okay. This first question relates to the product outdoors. The first customer did ask, can you apply this outdoors to your whole yard and will it kill the grass?
Okay, it will not kill grass, and yes, you can apply it broadcast across your entire lawn. I actually did my yard this past week, so it's a great way to control fleas and ticks and ants and things like that. We especially have a problem here with in Louisiana with fire ants, so that's what I was doing it for. So.
Okay. Now we have a question that came to us from Amazon, and it's about application around plants. This customer wants to know whether Compare and Save indoor-outdoor insecticide can be used when you water the plant instead of spraying it directly on.
No, you don't want to do that with indoor-outdoor insecticide. It's a contact kill, so the insects need to get it on them to get control. But we do make a product called Compare and Save Tree and Shrub Drench. The active ingredient in it is imidacloprid, and you actually make the solution, water it in around your trees and shrubs, and it's taken up systemically. And then any biting or sucking insect that tries to feed on the plant is controlled.
Okay, good to know. Trying to cut corners, maybe a different product is the best way to go. We've had several people now ask about the bottle and the shape. They find it interesting. They want to know why there are 2 pour spouts and caps on the bottle, and do you have to mix 2 different liquids?
Okay, no, you don't. This is just to help you out. There's you can squeeze the bottle and fill up this little container at the top of the bottle, and it marks half an ounce or 1 ounce. So it just makes measuring easy. Okay, so you squeeze up what you need and just pour it into your sprayer. And then on the other side, like I told you, on a broadcast spray, like a 4-wheeler sprayer or where you're spraying your entire lawn, you may want to use the entire contents. So this side, you can just dump the entire contents into your sprayer.
Okay, that makes sense. Just designed to give people options.
Absolutely.
Well, that is great, Kyle. Thank you so much for all your help, for all your advice. There is nothing worse, in my opinion, when bugs and spiders get in the house. So we appreciate you taking some time to explain all this to us today.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me, Angie.
For more questions and answers about insect control, visit the advice section of RaganandMassey.com. You can also visit the Ragan and Massey channel on YouTube for dozens of informative videos. Thank you again for joining us today. Make sure to subscribe to the Job Done Right podcast and tell your friends too. If you have questions you'd like answered on the podcast, please share them with us through social media or RaganandMassey.com. We'll see you next time.